good morning or something. Some here, I'm here in the chat. And then any comments you have or questions you have, just type in the chat as you go. So this is how I taught during summer school. The only thing I have extra now, which is really kind of awesome, is I can be checking the chat data as I go through. Oh, the Google Class code didn't work. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure about that. I'll troubleshoot that in a while. It is outside the WVUSD. Oh, so that's probably why I probably need to put it within our system. That's actually a class code that is for my personal Gmail instead of my school Gmail. So maybe at some point, if you need to, you could sign in with your personal one. Okay, but don't worry about that right now. Okay, that's a good point. So that's good. I just added that at the very last slide. Okay, I want to show you just the basics of how the app works. Okay, there's two apps that I use. The one that I was actually talking about, the proactive parent communication, is an app that I use a lot. It's called ExpressT2P. Let me click home so you can see the web page. It's an app that my brother helped. I designed it. He wrote it for me when I was complaining about how I can't communicate with parents. And then he added all this stuff so that other people would be interested in using it as well. What it's based on is some research that I did, and it says that if you communicate with parents immediately when there's a small concern, that you have a 39% decrease in failure rate and a 17% increase in attendance rate. And so there's a study out there that shows that. So I was looking for an app that basically let me quickly communicate with parents easier. Okay, so what it is I go to teacher login. Okay, so, and I can set this up for all of you. Okay, there's 27 auto-composed messages. I did include them in the presentation document. So if you go down here, you can read all of them where it says, click to read a complete list of ExpressT2P's autocomplete messages. If you click on that, it tells you what all the messages are. Okay, but let me show you how the app works first. Okay, so I go in here, I sign on. I'm using my old email account because I made like a fake database that I wouldn't have student names in this video. Okay, so basically how it works is your whole class list, you load your student list right here. Okay, that's part of the setup, but you load your student list and then it will come up with all your periods. So period 0, period 1, period A, period B. I just wanted to show you that it is flexible. It doesn't have to be just numbers. I know I think Suzanne, they do letter periods instead. And then we have number periods. Okay, so let me show you how it works. So basically you have 3 columns: attendance alert, homework alert, behavior alert. Okay, and if you want to notify a parent, it has all the data for the parents in it already. So say I go to Alfonso and I say, hey, Alfonso, he had a great week. So I click great week. And then over here on the right side where it says email to text, an email to text is the whole basis of this app. Okay, and then there's the Express Chat Counter, which is a different app, which I will show you as well today. But the email to text it comes from your school email and it gets sent as a text message to the parents. So they get to see it right away. Okay, so if you click email to text, this is a message. Nichols Algebra 1, period 0. Alfonso had a great week in the keys to success. So these are the autocomplete messages. It comes up with the teacher's name. It comes up with the class they're in, the period they're in. It says subject, and it'll say the student's name. It says Alfonso had a great week, and then it just fills it in, and you just hit send. And that's it. And there's lots of messages. The messages I just wrote that were new and that I got some advice from other teachers, some of them who are in this meeting, and then also the teachers who are using it, and also some GLCs and some parents about what these meetings should say. Missing in meeting is a new one, and that's kind of the idea of why I made the other app, the Express Chat Counter, is because if a student isn't there, I need them to be able to, hold on, sorry. I want to see the chat, and I just realized that I can't. So let me just do that on my tablet. Let me put the chat so I can see it on my tablet. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about the Google Meet. I should delete that from the phone. Okay. So for the DL missing in meeting, this would be once I know that the student isn't there using my Express chat counter app, I would click email to text. Okay, and up comes both parents' phone numbers. Now, if you look at these at the top, okay, they're phone numbers with the cell phone carrier's endings. So I don't know if you knew that you could do this, but if you're in your cell phone and you want to, say, send a picture to your email, you just text them the picture. So you just type in your email address, and then what would show up, like this is mine, because this is my phone number. What shows up is at vzwpics.com, and it goes to an email. And then when you hit reply, it goes back to the text message. And then it goes back to the email of the person you're sending. So it comes back and forth. So this right here will be a message that comes to my cell phone. This message is a new one. It's one where, hey, my student has not come to the class yet, and I need him to come because I'm doing a live lesson. And if you get the parents involved, it really helps. So I hit send. This is going to my cell phone and my brother's. So it's okay to hit send. Usually when I do these practice videos, I always hit cancel, but it's kind of fun to actually be able to send them. Okay, so there's lots of alerts. The ones I use during the school year: absent, tardy, health office, sent to office, missed test or quiz, present. I use present if they've been absent a bunch of times and I've been complaining to parents, and then present means they're there. Other is if you press it, it just says abo, and then you type whatever you want. Then the other ones you can change what you type as well. So any of those messages, you're allowed to change them. And then I realize, oh, I really don't want to send that message. So then I can hit cancel. But you'll notice it just comes up straight in your email. And let's see if you have a message. Okay, so let me see your message. You have to manually input the phone numbers, emails, etc. No. Brenda, what school site are you on? At Walnut High School, I already have it set up for them.
Diamond Bar.
You're at Diamond Bar. Okay. I can get that set up for you. Probably it would just take me about a week. Just because I have to set Suzanne up first, and then South Point, and then Diamond Bar would be fourth. Okay, but no, I don't. What I have is I made a database. So, and Lamb helped me with it at the district. So it's secure under our umbrella. And what it does is when I click this load student list, the way the mechanism works is when I click load student list, it gives me only my data for my email address. Okay, but if, say, Stephanie Tefanction, who also uses it, if she clicked load student list, it would load her students based on her email address. So we're all using the same database, and we download that database and upload it into our systems. And then as students change, say next week we have a whole different set of students, right? Then I could load the new student list and then it could be up. But you definitely don't have to type the information in. Just somebody at your school has to run the query that I need to set it up. I can only run a query at my school, and then different people are set up. I think Letitia Thomas at your school is set up to be able to run a query, or it could be the person who usually does it. Okay. So platform. It does not work with Zoom as your platform. Oh no, this one works with Zoom as our platform, definitely. Express Chat Counter doesn't. Okay, this one, Express Chat Counter won't work with Zoom, but this ExpressT2P definitely works with Zoom. It just basically, it's a web app. So all this is I can use it from my phone, I can use it from my tablet. Best it's used on the computer. It's basically going to a website and converting data. Okay. Oh. Account as a sent message. Yes, it saves in your account as a sent message, which is searchable. I also make a contact list. I can show we can set that up. And so for mine on my computer, when I click the email that they then reply to me, I'm able to see the parent names. Put in the email address. Larry, the teacher, this is completely private. The teacher never shows their phone number. Okay, so when I click one of these, let me show you another one. So let's say sleeping. Sleeping's my favorite one. That one's just fun. Actually, the students told me we needed it. Okay, so email to text. means it's from your school email, not your cell phone. It's from your school email to the parent's cell phone. So it's complete privacy for us. Okay, so that's how I designed it. Okay, is so we wouldn't have to reveal our cell phone numbers. Now, the only reason this cell phone number is mine, this is supposed to be 2 parent cell phone numbers. The only reason it's mine is because I'm trying to give a demo, and I don't want to be sending messages to some random cell phone number. Okay, so that phone number is me as the parent. Okay. So this one, Audra was sleeping in class today. It's difficult for students to learn when they're not awake. Please help. And then I just hit send. Okay, and then that's going to go to the parent cell phone numbers, but it's coming from your email. Now it's actually coming from your email, so that's why it is saved. Yes. Yes. Courtney? Yes.
Stephanie shared a Google Doc with them, so my question has been answered.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Okay. So in this one, in this PD paper, it's right here too, the autocomplete messages. Yeah. So I made those so that you could see them all. You can't change the whole setup. Okay, so that's good for Nancy. You can't change you can change each individual message. So say not turned in, and I hit email to text. This will come up automatically. But what I had to do during the school year is I would put Abo did not turn in his or her homework today. This is 5 in a row that he hasn't turned in. Please talk to him. Homework is a key part of school success. And then I hit send. Okay, so then I hit send and it goes to the parent. Okay, I don't change them that much. I don't know, maybe half, just because I'm kind of over wordy. But it's nice because you can do a drop-down menu for your not turned in kids. Okay, so you're not turned in on the assignment kids. You can click on these, and then you can do real quick email to text. I click email to text, Abo, homework, not turned in, go. Bertha, not turned in, go. You know, and then I can do it pretty fast as long as I know what the messages say. Jonathan did not turn in his homework. Now this one is only going to an email address. That's because there were no cell phone numbers for the parents in the system. Send, and then email to text, click that, same thing. And then those are all the not turned ins. And I'll show you how it's going to work with attendance and getting kids there in distance learning. But this is how I used it last year. If you refresh the table, then you can just see blanks again if you want. Attendance alerts, I have some positive ones too. There's an outstanding behavior. Okay, DL participating, this is a positive one. DL stands for distance learning. I put those at the top. I thought we would use those. Email to text, and then you could read the message. Jennifer Yee, I can set up the whole school's account. Are you also at Diamond Bar? Where are you, Jennifer? Okay, so I'm going to set up, Walnut's already set up. So for each person at Walnut, it'll take you about 30 minutes to set it up. Okay, not typing in student names though. Just to log into our system, you have to have a password, you have to get the email back, things like that. And then also you just need to make sure the settings on your computer are okay. And then you have to download the student list for your school, okay, from a Google share drive, and then you're going to load your student list from there. Once it's working, then it takes no time each day, basically. You just go to the website, you log in as yourself, and all your student data is there. Yes. Susan, we have an opt-out system. So what Susan asked is, it says, if by chance a parent does not want to hear feedback from you, do they have the option to press stop? So yes, what you do is this opt-out message. Okay, we have an opt-out. So we send this at the beginning. One of the parts of the 30 minutes to set it up is you send an opt out to all the parents. So if they want to opt out, then you can take them off the list. Now you're taking them off your individual list because maybe they don't want to hear from one teacher, but they want to hear from another teacher, or they don't want to hear about their 10th grade or 11th grade daughter, but they do want to hear from their about 7th grade daughter. So we have individual lists to be able to opt out parents and add in parents in case a parent says they want to change their phone number. Hey, can you use this one instead? If they change it to the school one, that's the best. Like change it through the school system because then it will work. But if not, we can individually, teachers do that as well. These are the things we learned in the last 2 years of using this. Somebody said, well, I need to be able to have a new phone number and I don't want to have to type it in each time. And so the opt out and add in setup will work as well. And then I don't know if you guys like alphabetical by first name, but sometimes when I'm looking, I like it alphabetical by last name. Like if I'm using this and I'm looking at my Aries grade book, I would rather have it by last name. So sometimes I like it by first name, sometimes I like it by last name. So I asked my brother to do that. And under setup, I think it's settings. Under settings, you can alphabetize the list by last name instead. I made both apps like that because I find that I'm annoyed sometimes when it's alphabetized the other way. And I don't really have an overall preference. It's just different apps alphabetized different ways. So you can undo that and then go back. Let's see. Yes. Oh, yes, Stephanie, you're answering. That's the thing is you can send a lot of quick messages. I send the great weeks, the first couple weeks, because then the kids get positive feedback. I also show the kids this. So I basically at the beginning, I'm going to show you how the attendance works with Express Chat Counter, but the kids are going to see this on my screen and they're going to see me sending messages to other students' parents. They don't see the cell phone numbers because I do it pretty quick. And then they don't want to have their parents contacted the next day in a negative way. Of course, the positive ones are great. So they try to get the positive ones. Okay, let's see. There's a text on Friday. Yeah, actually, there's a new one. One of our users, Amanda Lindman, she's at our school, and she suggested that we have one for distance learning called Upcoming Test. Okay, and we have Upcoming Test, and you can send it one by one for Upcoming Test, which says email to text. Okay, there is a way to contact all the parents at once. The only problem is we don't want to get ourselves into a like a lockdown. So like say T-Mobile locks us down and says, hey, we're spamming people. Okay, but do you see where it says message to parents for this class? So let me show you. We could do, there's an upcoming test, email to text. Now this is only going to one kid if I send it right now. It says Alfonso has an online test or quiz tomorrow during our period. And then it says tomorrow, but I might put the date. So I might put tomorrow, date 5/20. I might put quiz tomorrow, which would be what? Today's Wednesday, so tomorrow, Thursday, right? Maybe I want that. So what I would do is I would take this. Maybe I would put your student. Okay, put your student, and I'd grab this data. Okay, I'd copy it. And then, so I have the autocomplete message, and then down here at the bottom, you could message all parents for this class. Okay, somebody has their sound on, so you might. And then you hit email to text, and it sends it to all the parents. Okay, and then it says it for the class, and then I could paste that data in. I'm worried about using it. I'm not going to use it for that. What I'm concerned about in sending a big message like this is that I might get myself on the spam list through T-Mobile, through Verizon, and then every time I send them a message, they're going to say, "Oh, well, this person's a spammer." So for me, I'm not sure that would be my plan. Okay, but you can send an email to text message to a whole class at the bottom here, and then an email to email. So let me tell you how email to email works. Okay, so how email to email works is, say it's a behavior issue. Okay, so let's grab Beatrice Jackson. That's my mom. Let's say she is being defiant. I'm not sure I want to send that to a text parent at work right at this exact moment. So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to send an email to email. So an email to email, when you click that, it comes up with the email address, okay, of the parent. It says the person's name. And then these are the parents' names. So it pulls up the parents' name. So dear Jessica Jackson and Trevor Thomas. So those are the parents of my mom, supposedly. Nichols Algebra 1, Beatrice was defiant today. We can work together to fix this. Teamwork is key. And then I can add, I asked her to throw her trash away. She did. I repeatedly asked. And then remember, this is going actually to a parent, so be respectful, right? Then I hit send, but the problem with emails I find is that the parents don't look at the email as soon as I want them to. Now, they don't have to look at the email in that exact moment, but I'd like them to see it today. So when I hit send, we have a system here that sends a text alert notifying them that an email came. So this is because I sent multiple emails to students' parents and they never answered me, and it was very annoying. So, 2 weeks later, they'd reply, and it's like, well, it's too late because this was an issue we've been having. So then you send you hit this button, and it says, I sent you a detailed email about Beatrice to the email the school has on file. And then you hit, and that's to their cell phone numbers. Okay, so that comes up in the message, and then they can look at that detailed email when they have time at work. It doesn't just come up as a text and then send. Okay. Let's see. Oh, South Point. Okay, so South Point's third on my list. My plan is Nikki Elizalde and I are setting up. We're going to set up Suzanne today. Walnut's already set up. And then there just has to be a point person at the school who can update the student list by querying, okay, in the Aries database so that we constantly have current data. I personally am the one who does it at Walnut High School, and I've been a slacker and I only update it when people ask me because there's only 10 people. But my idea this year would just be to do it every like at the end of every week, do it every Friday, and then it would have data every Friday. And then it only takes me about 5 minutes to update it. And then if you are a teacher and realize, oh, I have an additional student in my class, you just load the new student list the same way that you would in the other situation. And that only takes about 5 minutes. Is there a place that saves all the sent messages? Yes, your email. So those messages that I just sent, if I go sent in my email, these are all the ones I just sent. Okay, and then I have it set where if I highlight, so do you see if I highlight over here, if I highlight the phone number, it says Minnie Penny Nichols parents. Okay, and then it shows, those are my dogs actually, and then it says Jennifer Nichols. Okay, but this is me as a parent, not me as a teacher. Okay, so basically when they come back, you want to know who is that? This one isn't listed because this is my brother's phone number and he's not in my contact list. But there's a way on the website to be able to do that. Now, if I reply to one of the messages, okay, so watch what happens here. This is kind of cool. So if I reply to one of the messages, let's see. If I reply, let's see, this is one of them. Yeah, okay, so here, let me hit reply. And I'm gonna say, thank you for letting me know. So this is me as the parent, right? So thank you for letting me know. And then what happens is that gets back. Okay, that's going to be sent back to the two recipients as a group message. So that's going to be both parents. Oh, I think I picked one that only had my brother's phone number. Let's see. Oh, no, it had to be mine. So it'll come in a few minutes. Okay. Oh, it's over here. So the reason it's over here, see where it says on my, I set up a filter so that it comes in over here instead. Okay. So this is a message that came back from the parent. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. And then I look and I think, well, what parent was that? And I click on it. It says Minnie and Penny Nichols' parent. So I'm like, oh, okay. So that's the kid. And so if I see these and I highlight them, it tells you which parent. This is Catherine and Go's parents. And then it also has their name. That's why it takes a little while to set up, because I wanted it to have functionality where it didn't just come back as a phone number and I can't see it. But this is my regular Outlook. Yeah, the parents do appreciate getting the messages. Cynthia, just send me a message. Send me an email. So let me type in my Google Meet here, and then let me show you how the other app works. But my email address is jnichols at wvusd.org. I will have to set the people at Walnut back up because you guys are logged into our system with your old email, and then our database doesn't have your old email. So I have to set you up where you're going to have to relog into our system. So you're going to have to just make a new account with a new password. Same password if you want, but you'll have to log in differently, because the way the system works for security wise is that for me as a teacher, I am only allowed to see my students. And I mean, why would I want to see other students anyway? Okay, so for those of you who are set up, I just have to. Okay, so let me show you. You kind of got the idea of that app. Do you want me to show you the Express Chat Counter? To me, I'm going to use them together. So I'll show you how it's going to work with the teacher contact system. Would that be good? And I'm looking at the chat. You can see if any of you have anything that you want to say. It's very odd that today my attendance isn't working. In yesterday's meetings, we were having meetings yesterday, and I was running the Express Chat Counter on the meeting itself. It was so cool. But the only problem is today I'm not able to see all your names. So for some reason, it's not showing that. So let me show you Express Chat Counter, because Express Chat Counter I think is going to be really powerful. Okay, so this is what, and this one's very easy to set up. This is only about a 5-minute setup for Express Chat Counter. Okay, so let me show you what the app is. Okay, so what the app is here. Okay, and this my brother just wrote last week. It's not actually very much code. But what I was telling him is I need to find out who isn't here, which is the strangest thing, because in Google Meet attendance, it would show me who is here. Well, thanks a lot, but how am I going to figure out the 3 absent students? I need to know who's not here. So that was one thing, and I need to know it immediately. I need to know it in the first 5 minutes, because we're told that we need to go into Aries and take attendance in the first 5 minutes. So I need to do that right away. Okay, so basically how it works is paste student list is you're going to paste your student names. Okay, now we got to get those from somewhere. And then we have to separate them with commas. Now, of course, you could type in the student names individually, but I needed to make a system so you didn't have to do that. So I wrote an Excel document that makes it so it converts the student list without the commas to a student list with the commas. And then you'll be able to use that Excel document over and over and over again to paste the student list. And then paste the chat data. This means that I take the data from here. So I just grab our chat data from today. So I just take and grab our chat data. It only works on the computer. I grab our chat data, copy it, and I paste it into that second area. Okay, now for right now, I can't use this because I don't have the list of student names. That's why I was thinking that we could do the class code, but it's not working because it's out of our Walnut Valley jurisdiction. Okay, but see where it says people, I can't get a class list, but I can get a class list from my own students. So I'll show you how that works. Okay, so basically you paste your chat data here and hit measure student engagement, and it tells you all sorts of cool information. So let me show you how that one works. It's pretty fast. Okay, so basically, I'll show you from the beginning. So from the beginning, what I have to do is I open this Excel spreadsheet. Okay, and I can email this to you. It'll be on the website in a couple of days under instruction, but right now it's not. So it doesn't work in Google Sheets, unfortunately. I tried to make that work, but it didn't. Okay, so basically what I need is this is the tracker. So you're going to also be able to track classroom participation by looking at chat data, and you're going to be able to keep it for a month, and then you make a new page, and then you start over, and then do it for another month, and then a new page. And then I have all my periods here at the bottom. If you look at the bottom on the tabs, I have the different periods. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to go get the data, okay, from your class. So this is sample class. You go to people, okay, and I have separate videos on this too that you can see how it works, but I just want to show you. I'll show you, this is the initial setup. So this would be like step 0. You just have to do this once, anytime maybe you have a, you know, a class change. So if somebody's added to your class or subtracted from your class, you might do this as well. Okay, so Control C copies that data, and then I put it in the Google spreadsheet, but not here. So I'm not going to put it there yet. It says people in all periods. So I'm going to paste it over here. And now when I paste, it has these pictures on it. And I couldn't figure out how to get rid of it. So I made a workaround. You just grab the names again, copy, and then you paste it here. And then there's a paste 1, 2, 3, and it gets rid of the pictures. Okay, so I take this data, and I only have to do this once. Okay, I take that data, I copied it. Okay, and then I put it in the tracker. So it says step 0, paste names in D3. So I go to D3 right here, and I paste the data. Now what that does is in column A, I have the information with commas. Okay, so the information with the commas is what the app needs. So I take that, I copy it, and I can put that in the paste student list page. Okay, and then I want to show you how this chat data can be really impactful for your teaching, used especially with ExpressT2P. But even by itself, it would be effective. This one's easier to set up, definitely easier to set up than the other ones. But the other one is way more powerful. Now, paste chat data. Now, normally I would just go in here and get the chat data, right? I would just grab the chat data from over here. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I have to go to my fake chat data on Word. Okay, so let me go over here to Word so you can see that. So here's my Word fake chat data in the chat side. Okay, so what my plan would be is in the morning. Okay, so in the morning, not in the morning, but before each period, I go to my engagement tracker. I already have the names in from the previous day. I take these names. Okay, I go to the the Express chat counter. I paste the names in, and then I do that before the period starts. Now, as soon as the period starts, people are typing hello, like you guys did this morning, and that to me is when they arrive in class. Okay, so I grab the data. Now, I'm only going to grab the data till 8:02 because that's the time that that I'm going to do this in the morning. I'm going to do it probably 3 times throughout the period. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it in right here in the chat data. When I click measure student engagement, this is the magic. Okay, it tells me who is not here, who hasn't said good morning yet. So I've got 5, 6, 7, 8 students who have not said good morning. So to me, that means they're absent. So I'm going to go right now to Aries, and I'm going to mark, and Aries is best to look at this right table. Okay, so on this right table, I'm going to mark Alfonso absent. He's not there. It's 8:02. He's not there. Alfonso absent, Bertha absent, Gary absent, Greg absent, Audra absent, and Jonathan absent. Now, later on in the period, if those students do come, I can change those absences to tardies at the end of the period. Okay, now for my chat data, I kind of like first names because that's what I call the student. So this chat data over here tells me right now, everybody's only said good morning. So nothing very exciting has happened. Okay, but as the class progresses, they're going to be typing more and more chat data in, right? They're going to be typing in, I'm going to say, what's the next step? They're going to say 2x plus 6. You know, I'm going to say, how do you get rid of the 2x in 2x equals 6 or 5 or whatever? And they say divide both sides by 2. So I'm having them participate and answer where usually they answer verbally. I'm going to have them answer by typing. And then I can record all that data. So maybe halfway through the class, you know, so halfway through the class, I grab this data, copy it, and I just go back to the app and I just paste it in the second spot. I don't have to go through putting the names in again because they're already there. So I do Control A, Control V. Control A is select all, and then Control V pastes, measure student engagement, and I can look again at this data and say, oh, look, Samantha spoke in 5 times. She's here at the bottom. Samantha spoke in 10 times. Louisa spoke in 3 times. Jonathan spoke in twice. Okay, I need to start calling on these people. It's halfway through the period. They're not talking. I mean, realistically, this was only about 15 minutes, but look, actually only Alfonso and Greg are still absent. So maybe they're really absent, right? And then I can see what time they came in because what time they hit good morning. And then I'm going to start calling on people who haven't been talking. So oops. So I'm going to use this data. I don't need to record it anywhere. It's just live during class. I'm going to say, hey, now I know who hasn't been talking, and then I can check. And then I can start calling on them during my live lesson. So that's my plan. That's what I was doing during summer school. I was calling on people, but I only had 9 people. So I knew who wasn't there. I would go through and say, I have 1 A, 3 Ds, 2 Is. Who's missing? Something like that. Who hasn't been talking for a while? So that's where this app was made for. Now, at the end of the period, and you don't have to do it in the middle, but I'm thinking that I'm going to use it to start calling on people. You hit Control C. Okay, so copy. I'm going to paste the last piece of data in here. So I did Control A to copy select all that was there. Control V. And there's instructions videos to show you so that you can do this too. Measure student data. Now this is the end of the period data. Okay, so some more people talked. Audra, she talked, or she not talked, but she participated 11 times. Anthony 3 times. Beatrice 3 times. Okay, Gary just said this morning. So once he came in, he probably wasn't there anymore. He probably didn't say anything. Because sometimes I'll ask people directly. I would have asked Gary, hey Gary, what? Sorry, Gary Jesser. Gary's my dad's name. So Gary, can you type something? Can you type the next step? Or can you write here? Or can you write something? And really, they just logged in and then they disappeared. I don't feel like I can look at 30 pictures all at the same time. So that's why I'm not even going to bother looking at them. I'm going to make sure that their cameras are off so I don't have to monitor, like, are they doing inappropriate things? Are they making other people laugh? Okay. Then what I do at the end of the period is I grab this data, and I want this record forever. Okay, so I'm going to put it in the tracker. Step 0 said paste the names in D3. Step 1 says run macro by clicking Control A. So I click Control A. It adds 3 columns in the middle, and it adds them with the same formula. So you can't just add 3 columns. You just have to use Control A. And then here it says paste it into step 3, copy 1 full table from chat counter and paste it into D1. Now it says full table. That means you need not just the names, you need the table, the information at the top. Paste it into D1 and then click Control B. So if I paste this here, oh, see, I screwed it up. So I did not grab the whole chat data. I only grabbed from the names. And then how I know I messed up is if you look across, this is kind of a fail-safe. See, it says Alfonso and then it says Audra. Okay, that's not supposed to happen. They're all supposed to have the same name across. So let me go back to my data. Oh yeah, I didn't grab the top of the table. So that's why it said all tables. So it's good I made that mistake. But if you grab the whole table, copy it, paste it here. Oh, okay, now the names line up. Okay, and then I don't like that it doesn't have 2 vertical lines, so I'm going to hit Control B just to make it pretty. Control B stands for beautify. So Control B is, I guess, a term in macro. So I just made it a little bit prettier. Now, what the effectiveness of this is, first of all, we're going to record it. Okay, I'm also going to, in the period 1 chats, I'm thinking that I'm going to actually record that data. I'm thinking I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it over here so that if any parent ever asks me, hey, my kid was talking, that I have the complete chat data saved in this period 1 chats window. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking anything a kid says, I want a record of, especially if they type it. Okay, so period 1 tracker is back to here. Now, next day, you're going to do this again. So you're going to go here. Now, this time it's going to be faster because you already have the names. You're going to grab the names, copy. You're going to put them into the chat counter. Okay, probably that's another period. Okay, so you're going to paste the names here. You're going to take your chat data from your Google Meet. You're going to take the chat data at 8:02 or whatever time you want to check for who's here. You're going to take the chat data. You're going to go to 8:02 or whatever. This is the data that you have so far at that moment, not 8:02 if it happens to be that it's there. You're going to paste the chat data, measure student engagement, and then you'll have this information. You can notify parents through ExpressT2P right away using that missing in meeting message. That's what I'm going to do. So right after this, I'm going right to ExpressT2P, and I'm saying, hey, Alfonso's missing. So I would kind of move this over probably. And I would say, okay, well, let's see. Alfonso's not there, missing in meeting. Audra's not there, missing in meeting. Okay, missing in meeting. Who else is missing in the meeting? Bertha, missing in meeting. Oops, you shouldn't tab. Okay, so down arrow, who else is Gary and Greg? And then I'm going to send those messages real fast. Oh, and then Jonathan is also missing. And then I'm going to hit email to text, send, email to text, send, email to text, send. And this is the notification that basically says, hey, parents, can you get your kid to class? Because he's not here yet. I use these the first couple weeks, and the kids are going to get to class because they're not going to like getting those emails from there. Okay, and then I also need at this point to go into Aries, right? I need to take attendance. So I do that in ExpressT2P, and I also mark these students absent. Okay, so I mark those students absent in Aries. And then if they happen to walk in and they turn off their microphone and they say, hey, Miss Nichols, I'm here, I will say, hey, write some chat data. Write some chat data, and then also I see them there and they made a comment. Okay, so I have a new day's data. So say you have a new day's data. Okay, so let's just say this was the total data. I can go back to the period 1 tracker. I can do Control A, and then I paste. And there's, it's going to record the average chats per day and the overall chats this month. Okay, and then you're going to have a record of student participation. Okay, and then you can use this for a grade only, I guess, if you call it discussion points. You can't call it a participation grade. Okay, let me see. Can I add RHA to your list? Okay, you said you were going to email me. Thank you. Okay, let me tell you, you can't use it in Zoom. So I tried to make it with all the apps. I can't make it work in Zoom because let me show you the basis of the app. Okay, so let me just show you the basic code. And I don't know in WebEx yet because I don't know how to use WebEx. So somebody have to show me WebEx to see. But do you see how it says the name of the chatter and then the time? Okay, well, in Zoom, it says time, date, name of the chatter. So what my brother has it doing from Google Meet, because that's what I use, so he first wrote it, just, wrote it for me, is the app takes for the first chat data, see where the first chat time is in column E, how it's getting that data in the app that he wrote is it's basically looking for the word Abo Solano the first time it shows up. So the first time it shows up is down here, and it takes the data immediately after the first name. Okay, and then the second time, the third time it shows up, it's counting those as daily chats. And so the formatting is different on Zoom. I don't know about WebEx. The problem with Zoom also is the kids and you can change your names. So if you change your names, it's not going to show up. So if you see Abo Solano, see how his ABO is capitalized? Well, I got the data from Google Classroom, and this is Google Meet. So it's going to be formatted the same way. But if this one has a lowercase ABO, it's not going to show up that he was here at 8. So the fact that Google Meet and Google Class have the same way of listing the names is important. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it work for the other apps later. WebEx we'll have to see. Yeah. Did you only highlight after the good morning portion? Yes, I did for right now. So I just did the chat for the good morning portion, and then later on, I'll pull more data. So to me, I'm going to go halfway through the class, or, say I'm here. So say I go to here, and then I'm halfway through the class, but I'm doing this live, right? So I'm just going to take the actual Meet data. Okay, I could do it for a meeting, but I don't have the class names list. So for some reason, my attendance here isn't working. Maybe it's because I set it up in a calendar instead, but it's not, for some reason, my normal little square where you could get the attendance data is not showing up in today's, because I was going to show you live. It's really cool when you see it on your own data. You're like, I did speak that many times. Okay, but basically throughout the class, my plan is to also do it in the middle so that I can make a difference. That's what we do as teachers. I can say, oh, okay, look, I need these people to talk more. I need, hey, this person said a comment, but hey, this person's not saying anything. Okay, and then during summer school, my kids were chatting multiple times. So they're chatting, you know, they're and not chatting because they're not really chatting to each other. They're chatting to me. They're answering my question. I'm saying, what should we do next? One kid would say distribute. One kid would give me the first part of the next answer and then the next part of the answer. And that's, I teach from my tablet. And so I'm asking them questions constantly. And that's how I tell if they're participating. Because in summer school, sometimes they were sleeping. It was quite annoying, actually. Okay, so I do have one for that in ExpressT2P. Where's my ExpressT2P one? Let me show you in my ExpressT2P. So ExpressT2P, there's one for those students in summer school who logged in but were not participating. I click email to text. Abba was logged on today but was not participating very much during online class. Oh, there's 2 todays. I'll have to update that in the system. Please discuss with your student. Some students fall asleep or are distracted by something else. If your student is having problems with the online system, please reply to this message. Also have your student email me so I can troubleshoot. I was thinking, have your student email me. I'm thinking, but if they have online problems, they might not be able to. So that's why I kind of put that fluff in to make sure that was the case. Anyway, and then, you know, you would send the message or decide not to send the message. Change the message if you want. Don't change the message. If it's too busy here, you can hit refresh table and it goes back to 0. And it only shows up on the side with the email to text once you click one. So he made it that way so that that you wouldn't accidentally, you know, click on one of these email to text that doesn't have it. Okay, and then let me check more questions. Yeah, so ExpressT2P works. It doesn't matter which platform you're using with Zoom or Google Meet or WebEx. ExpressT2P works with all of them. The chat counter only works with Google Meet. Do you highlight also in Zoom? It may list a parent's name depending on the device signed in. Yeah, right. And to me, I just worry because I really only want my students in there. Also, the attendance issue would be different, right? So I really want to use this for attendance because my issue is how do I figure out who's there and who's not there? And that's a real big stress for me. I want to know, and that's why with the Express chat counter, I can tell instantly who's there, who's not there at any point during the chat. Not who's there, who's not there, who has been there, who has made a comment. And if the kids, sometimes the kids lose connection, I found in summer school, and then they come back in just like 30 seconds later. But if that's the moment I take attendance, it's going to look like they're not there. So if they've ever had a chat, then it's going to be in there. Now, if I lose connection, then I'm going to lose all this chat. But anyway, so all this chat data right here, I basically just cut and paste it. I can either scroll or I can hit Control All, and then I just paste it into the little red square thing, and that's it. And then I have my data at any point during the day. Okay. And then I'll make a new Google code and I'll put it on that sheet. And if you guys email me to say that you came to the meeting, because I think I can. Yeah, I can't record who came, which is annoying because I can't take attendance. So that sucks. So it's not letting me. I should take pictures of everybody who's here. Oh, there it is. Oh, how cool. Oh, I had to hit people first. That sucks. Okay, so if I click this one, oh yeah, we could do it on our data. This is fun. We only have 5 minutes left anyway. So let me show you. So if you're ever in a meeting, right? So if you're ever in a meeting, and you click the meet attendance, I don't know why it's that color for the moment. I don't know why it's not working. Okay, so it's right here. Let me go all the way to the side. Cool, and I can grab all your names. Oh, it didn't show up. Oh, that sucks. Come on, how come it's not working today? Anyone know why it's not working? I don't think I have to put, oh, not that one. Huh. Okay, usually if I click this, it's wonderful and beautiful. Oh, probably maybe some of you are using accounts that we're not in. I don't know. Anyway, when I click this, usually the attendance comes up, and then this is also in the right format. So I can cut the data from here instead of the Google Class. But I do it from the Google Class because I want to know who's not here. So I need to know all my students who are not there. Yeah, so this is what I was doing yesterday during our meetings. See, I just took attendance while I was in the meeting, and then I just grabbed this list. I grabbed this list, and then I was throwing it in, and I was just checking how many times people were talking. So it's kind of cool in a meeting too, but in that one, you won't really see who hasn't chatted. I guess you still would. You would still see who hasn't chatted because we do have a list of who's sitting in the class but not chatting. But it might not be. If people don't say good morning, then you can't use that as a anyway. So go back to here. So ExpressT2P, that's the parent communication app. So that would be this one right here. Let me see. That would be, I went somewhere else. So sorry, I have too many things on my thing. So this is ExpressT2P. You could use this to communicate with parents. And then the Express Chat Counter is the one that if you want to be checking in Google Meet. And then we'll have to look at WebEx and see if that works. But I don't use WebEx at all. Yeah. And the other thing about Zoom and maybe WebEx too is if they reply to another student. So say I hit reply and I'm sending something specifically to Gary Dresser, or I, as the teacher, send something to Gary Dresser. It's going to show up as the name Gary Dresser has occurred again, and then it's going to count that as that he put another chat in, which he didn't. So that's where the problems come. So for me personally, I don't see how I can use those. So sorry about that. I see like a lot of people like Zoom instead. Yeah. Anyway, if you have any questions, you could email me. You could also type more chats, but I don't because no one's 7 minutes. Being launched district-wide. Brenda, which school are you at?
Diamond Bar.
Okay, so last year it was used at Walnut and the year before. Now, which one? So the ExpressT2P, the teacher app, needs to be set up at each individual school. I just have to have somebody at the school run a query. Okay, so somebody has to have query access. So I do have somebody at Diamond Bar, South Point, Suzanne, and Walnut who can run the queries. And probably there's also a person at Chaparral who knows how to do it. So we can set it up for you. It takes about 30 minutes to set it up, and there's a person at each school that can do that. With our new email, you're going to have to sign up through our system. Now for this one, the Express Chat Counter, nothing's needed for login. Anyone can use it. Actually, any teacher anywhere can use it. This is not locked down to our system. It's free. Express Chat Counter, if you look in the actual title of the line, my brother wrote free chat counter. Okay, so that one is free. And then the other one is going to be free for everyone in Walnut Valley as well. So, but we can set, I can set anyone up. You just have to send me an email. Okay. Yes, Susan, there is a document with this information. If you send me an email, I will send you the link. Brenda, so for the chat one, you do not have to request. Okay, for the other one, you do, because I need you to be able to log into my system. So if you look at this one, hold on, let me go to my other email. If you go to this one, you have to log in. Okay, so you have to log in. So see where it says new user? I'm going to set you up in our system so that I give you permission to use it. Because in the future, we'll charge other schools. And then you'll want to use your new email address, not your old email address. And then you're going to have to be able to sign in. So for me, if I use my old email address, I'm not set up yet. So I just have to, you just have to set a little bit stuff up in this section. Okay. Yes, just email me directly to be set up for the ExpressT2P. T2P stands for teacher to parent. And then the other one's called Express Chat Counter. Okay. And Brittany, you do want to be set up, so I should start working on your database. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for being in my meeting. Okay. I'm recording this so people can watch it later. I'll stay here, but I know you guys have maybe another meeting that you want to see. But if you have any questions, I'm going to turn off the recording.